What if I told you the most powerful Sith Lord of his age was brought to his knees, not by a Jedi Knight, but by a kiss? This is the story of how Darth Bane faced annihilation and what he had to become to survive. After discovering Darth Revan's holocron, Bane's new power made him a threat. The current leader of the Sith, Lord Khan, sent his deadliest weapon, Blade Master Qasim, who was perhaps the greatest lightsaber duelist of all time up to that point. Their duel took them to the ancient world of Lihan, cradle of the dead Rakata Infinite Empire. Qasim was brilliant. He outfought Bane at every turn, disarming him, cornering him, until Bane made a desperate, brutal choice. He didn't defeat the Blade Master, he buried him, unleashing a force ripple that collapsed the entire temple on top of him. But Bane wasn't finished with Khan. He sent a message, pretending to want to join the Brotherhood. As a gift, he offered a force ritual from Revan's holocron, a trap that would entomb its users in an eternal void. All Bane needed was to get them to use it. Khan didn't trust the invitation, so he sent an assassin Bane knew intimately, Githany, his former rival and lover. She knew she could never beat him in a fair fight, so she devised a perfect Sith-like betrayal. She coated her lips with a lethal poison and met him on Ambria, pretending to be on his side, and kissed him. Bane, arrogant in his power, sensed the poison and laughed it off, thinking his strength was too great. He even kissed her back several times to prove his dominance. It was a fatal mistake. What he didn't realize was the first poison was just a decoy. The real toxin was already working, and it was designed to not only kill, but to sever the mind from the Force itself. When Bane was alone, the true agony began. He started having violent convulsions, paralysis, and his skin turned pale and clammy. The greatest terror wasn't the pain, it was the silence. For the first time since he was a minor, he was utterly alone. He collapsed in the wastes, but was found by a farmer and his young sons. Seeing this scarred, dying monster, the farmer's son grabbed his lightsaber, and when his father tried to stop him, it was already too late. Using the last of his will, Bane killed them. Then, he consumed them. He fed on their fear, their pain, and their very life force, using their suffering to fuel his own return. That dark energy was just enough to get him to a nearby hut, to a healer named Caleb. Caleb was a man of principle. He refused to help any Sith or Jedi, even plunging his own hand into a boiling pot to show he was immune to torture. But Bane had learned his lesson about direct attacks. He said nothing. Instead, he found the healer's weakness, his daughter. Wordlessly, Bane held the girl over the boiling pot. The message was clear. Caleb broke and agreed to heal him. And when it was done, Bane spared them. He knew the Sith weren't mindless butchers, and he figured Caleb's skills could be used in the future again someday. Now fully healed, Bane made his way to the Sith camp on Ruusan. He walked straight into their strategy meeting and just waited at the door until he was noticed. Khan and Githany stared in pure shock. Khan stammered, "We thought you were dead. How did you survive?" Bane, exhausted and radiating menace, simply said, "I'm tired. I'd like to sit down." And he told them to continue their meeting. As Khan laid out a plan to outmaneuver the Jedi in the forest, Bane interrupted. "You think like a dirt general. How did you ever find the guts to poison me?" Khan tried to deny it, but Bane cut him off. "I admire your cunning, but now, think like a Sith." He pointed at the map. "Don't just fight in the forest, destroy the forest." That single command would change the fate of the Sith forever. But his return to Ruusan was just beginning. The thought bomb awaited, the true end of the Brotherhood, and the final, bloody birth of the Rule of Two. If you want to see how Bane wiped out the entire army of Sith, let me know in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss out on the next one.